Music.
Brick by brick by brick by brick by brick.
I own 100% of Barstool Sports. The sun, the moon, the Milky Way. It is getting so close, I can taste it. We can take a bite out of it. This is exactly, and I mean exactly, why Barstool Sports has to exist. It has to.
All right, it's Monday, December 11th, coming to you live from Barstool, New York.
Happy birthday, Hubs. 30th birthday for Hubs.
Let's go. Hey, girl's birthday tomorrow. Taylor Swift on the 13th. Let's go. Birthday.
Big day, big week.
Nobody cares? No.
Large on Christmas.
Large on Christmas is the most important person ever to be born on
Jesus
December
Christ.
25th.
Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Stacker2. We've got the Stacker2 gummies. Not just any old gummies, the Extreme Energizer gummies. Not just any old shot, the Extreme 10,000% of your daily B12 vitamin shot. We've got the energy you need, the caffeine you need, the supplements you need, the vitamins you need to get through the day. It's the Christmas season, shit's getting hectic. You got to be able to, do all your family stuff along with your work stuff. We have a Christmas party coming up here. We're going to be traveling in Chicago. To get it all done, we're going to need that extra kick, and that's what Stacker2 provides. They're the OG in the supplement game, just like Barstool is the OG in the internet game. So we use them every day. Pat's got pre-diabetes, and we know that he needs all the health, all the extra help he can get. So Stacker2 helps him along with that. So go to stacker2.com/barstool, and right now, not only will you get the gummies and the energy shots, you'll also be entered in a sweepstakes where you can come see all the behind-the-scenes action at Barstool. So you go to stacker2.com/barstool, you make a purchase, take a screenshot of your receipt, tweet out that proof of purchase, and use the hashtag #BiteBack, and Stacker2 will send you to the Barstool, New York offices to get a look behind the scenes. You can see what Meek the Freak does. You can see all the people, sitting at their desks. There's a bunch of people editing. It is a scene. Let me tell you what. You'll watch a bunch of cameras and...
You could do Out and About with me and Joe. You can actually host Out and About with me and Joe. We're throwing that in the mix.
Wow, throw down the gauntlet. So you can be in on a Out and About recording by just going to stacker2.com/barstool, buy your product, tweet the proof of purchase, and use hashtag #BiteBack. It's the final week of Surviving Barstool, final 3 episodes, including the live finale in Chicago on Wednesday. So that's going to be a massive week. We have Christmas parties coming up. That's always going to be a thing. We did a office, what's that called?
Secret Santa.
Secret Santa that will, Jackie.
Maybe the most wholesome thing we've ever done.
So we were just discussing it on Barstool Radio, on KFC Radio. That's something that like if Dave was around for that, we never, in a million years, would have done that. And most people like the drama and they want to see people fighting and all that shit. But I think especially for the holiday season, a video of people just there was actually some really genuinely nice gifts. And people either took time, took effort, learned about the person, went and got something, spent a little bit of money, presented it in a nice way. I was like, wow, we don't hate each other after all. And then there was one moment there was one person who was not happy with their gift, and it's just the funniest fucking thing. Yeah. It was so wildly...
A real-life Scrooge.
It was so good. It was so wildly out of place. Is this really fucking happening? And it was so genuine and real. Yeah. It was like a jury duty moment, like that show on Amazon. I was like, what the
sucks.
Fuck? It was so completely... I was stunned. I thought it was a bit, and then when I realized it was so genuine. So that video hopefully will be coming out soon. You guys can see it, because I can't wait to talk about that moment. So I think a lot of it you'll see people at Barstool it's like the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day, and people are being nice to each other, and it's just one guy this fucking sucks.
I mentioned it on KFC Radio when we were talking. I see him now, where Gaz was like, "We should do White Elephant so people get mad." And in my experience with White Elephant, people don't actually get angry. People just know the best gift
gets stolen.
The person who's last. That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this ended up way better. I think this was. I was telling Jackie to not have high hopes up until 30 seconds before it started. I was like, this is gonna be a mess.
Frank plays Santa.
Yeah.
Frank was playing Santa, and it was like he had a union cutoff time. He wanted to get through this fucking video. So again, it's you want to watch the drama and the fight and the fireworks. We have Surviving Barstool. We have the finale. But if you want to just see a little bit of Christmas spirit here at Barstool, we've got the Secret Santa. I can't. It's so funny. The one person is so goddamn funny. Over the weekend, we had the Gillian Wallow knockout party. We're gonna have Large jump on to talk about that. That was an absolute scene, as always. But I feel like we'll get into the rest of the rest of the week will be Surviving Barstool talk. But I guess yesterday, as far as football goes, the Chiefs fans complaining about calls is
Dude, I was following along on Twitter.
You have to have some self-awareness if you're the Chiefs fans.
I was saying, to me, this feels like, do you guys remember when Steph Curry threw his mouth guard? It was like in the NBA Finals, and it was right around when Aisha Curry was tweeting about the refs, and like Steph Curry got mad, threw his mouth guard, and that was like the moment where people turned on Steph Curry a little bit, and he's now beloved again. But there was a moment where he had a villain arc, and I feel like this is that moment for Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, that whole performance afterwards was fucking nuts, especially when it's the correct call, like a no doubt about it, black and white correct call.
Yeah, it's not even like a thing where like, oh, it's kind of a hold on, it's a kind of experience. Like, there's a line, and you were standing over it, and that's a penalty, and it got called.
Fucking
and it has, I think on Sunday Night Football, they were like, it does get called this year. Like last year,
it got called 11 times.
Yeah, it's been called like 11, so it's not that crazy.
They clearly made it a point of emphasis for whatever reason. It's a new thing that's happening. That happens in the league all the time, where they're like, the new point of emphasis is XYZ, and it gets called a lot more, and the players are like slow to catch up. Now, Tony was saying that he like checked with the ref. I mean, if a ref told you you're good and then you weren't, I guess that's fucked up. I don't think that happened. I think you just lined up offsides very clearly.
I thought so. I didn't watch it live, but I thought I read a tweet that where like Tony, I was watching The Chamber, John Grisham 1996 movie. There was a moment where like someone said like Tony never looks to the left; he's just looking to the right. Which even in that moment, like you should see you're standing over the ball. You don't need
the other one.
Right, you don't need to look either way.
He was on sides for the Bills.
It's also just such a like to me, I would always be probably like a decent chunk behind it because it's probably, that couple inches here or there is not going to make it break anyway. So, but like there is some. Patrick Mahomes was like, to take away a great play from Travis Kelce like that. Like, I get what you're talking about. When there's a foul away from the play, that sucks. Some, like, bullshit blocking foul all the way over here that did not impact the game at all. That sucks. But, again, you're the Chiefs. You have a Lombardi trophy basically made out of a referee whistle. You have one Super Bowl that is basically given to you by a ticky-tack call, and probably like a dozen regular season games if you were start to go through the history of how many times the Chiefs got the whistle. There have to be times where as a fan base to be like, let's pull back a little bit.
That thing, the scrum with Josh Allen, where he's like, that was fucking crazy. It was fucking crazy or terrible. Whatever.
Yeah, Josh Allen was like, bro, I don't give a fuck. You won the game because of it. Like, I'm happy about that.
Right. And then for Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes to be like, I mean, Mahomes acted like somebody got murdered. It was like, he said it was like terrible for the sport of football.
Mind you, I agree with everything they've said in the sense that, like, yeah, it does feel like after every game you're talking about the refs.
Yeah.
The refs are bad this year. Like every game, and I don't watch every game, but at least like follow along on Twitter. Like every game, it seems like people are complaining about the amount of flags. So like I stand behind them in what they're saying. Just picked the wrong time.
Wrong time.
And like you were saying, like, oh, it's like they were complaining it took a play away from Travis Kelce. Like they threw the flag before that happened.
Yeah, right.
It's not like they watched that happen. They're like,
and on a review or something like that.
Like it literally, like, and when it happened, that's just how the play like played out.
I mean that is when he was like, that's like elementary school stuff. Nobody makes that call. Like referees like either tell you or like ignore it all the time. Like they're clearly not anymore. It was like 0 called the last like 25 years, and now there's a bunch called this year. For whatever reason, they need to give the defense an edge. They need to balance out the scoring. Whatever it is.
But it is like it's so bad.
I mean, he's fucking.
We should probably allow that.
Yeah.
Like football is so bad.
Well,
that like
you know what?
I do kind of agree. Like maybe call less penalties on against the offense.
Offense.
Like, scoring is so bad right now.
I feel like everyone agrees that football is bad. Has it affected your watching?
No, I mean, I watch as much as I have. It's just like, but that's gambling, fantasy, like.
I gamble on every NFL game I watch.
You don't watch them?
No, it's just I gamble that it's going to be a good game and not a waste of my time.
No, I'll gamble, like on a Sunday, I'll try to bet every game, or like have some investment in every game. So I'm always following it.
If you're not gambling, like I watch my team and like some of the games that really like affect my team. I've been watching bad football my whole life. So it's like, well, welcome. Seriously, like this is what you guys are all complaining about. I'm like, this is called football for me. It's like we watch different sports. You know, like you watching the Patriots the last 20 years and me watching the Jets, we were watching different sports.
I wrote that blog probably 10 years ago and I think I've said before, like, I wrote it to be a dickhead, but I also meant it where like, I was like, the Patriots ruined football for me. And that was when they were so good watching other teams. I was like, this isn't the same sport I watch.
No, it's not.
And now it's just every team is that team.
And then we had the discussion. I don't think we had it on radio, but like, I think people took for granted that there was like 8 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the league, all in their prime at the same exact time. So when Manning and Brady retire, but then it's also like, and Phillip Rivers, and Ben Roethlisberger, and Eli even, to some extent, yes. I mean, like, even, you know,
Tony Romo, like
Russell Wilson is still playing, but like when he was in his prime back then, like all of these guys were fucking Drew Brees, awesome, elevated every single level, you know. And now it's like you replace them with a bunch of guys who aren't Hall of Famers. The play is gonna really suffer. And then there's a few guys who you think are gonna be the next one, and it's like, well, he had like 1 good season or 2 good years. Those guys did it for like 15 fucking years. So. Yeah, the product is down.
Really,
Mahomes is the only one you can say is like.
Right, like Burrow, like he's got hurt twice.
Right.
This season out of 4
that might
years.
be a problem.
Like Josh Allen, it's like he's still really good, but hasn't won a Super Bowl or anything.
Right. It's not like we were, I think, crowning guys like that a little early, and those are the best in the league now, but they're just not all automatic Hall of Famers, basically. So I think you'll look back on this era and be like, it was. Like, of course it was a downtime. It was after like a golden era of quarterbacks. You just don't realize that in the moment. You get so used to it, you're like, oh, it'll be that way forever. But anyway, that's all to say that like you can't complain about a call that is 100% correct.
I did like it like when I saw Mahomes yelling in the moment, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I like seeing some emotion out of him. But still crying about. I mean, I still like Mahomes, but crying.
That's fine though. That's very different. Like yelling on the sideline, it's like, of course, it's like the surviving Barstool stuff. It's like, of course, we're gonna argue that you were cheating.
I actually thought he was yelling about Tony, which I was like, that's awesome. I love him ripping Tony to shreds.
Yeah, that's who you really should be yelling about, right? The other big sports news of the weekend was Otani puts up a 7-handle, $700 million. I thought that was going to happen. I remember thinking, like, I don't, and that was the fact that he got that money after the Tommy John. That makes me feel like the Dodgers just gave him the original contract. Like, I don't think it would have been $1 billion if he didn't have Tommy John.
$1 billion.
I think it was just always going to be 700, and they just said, even though you got Tommy John, we'll just give it to you anyway.
I know he's quite literally maybe the most talented player ever. It's still, I think, a bad baseball contract. Like, I know people are like, business-wise, he's going to bring in ratings, jack the ticket prices. And yeah, like business-wise, it will pay for itself. But like baseball-wise, unless the Dodgers are just like, we're going to have a $500 million pay. Like, $70 million for a guy who we don't even know if he's going to pay. Like, you're paying $70 million for a great DH.
But in 6 years, $70 million is going to be the going rate.
I guess that's the problem. To be a pitcher in 2 years.
So Juan Soto's now getting probably like $500 to $600 million.
Right. So it's like it just all kind of elevates. But
it's like when Mahomes got his deal. When Mahomes got $500 million or whatever it was. People were like, this is crazy. In 3 years, he was underpaid.
Right.
Now, I mean,
I do think this is a little different.
Well, the thing about Otani is like, it's not about on the field. It's everything off the field. The Asian markets, the globalization. They're talking about the deferral. The deferred money is apparently like so complex that, you know, if Otani agreed that like $250 million of that can be paid to me, you know, if it's a Bobby Bonilla situation, the Dodgers might actually end up having him as like a steal for the first part of this contract. But if you just do a straight line, you know, average $70 million a year over however many years, you're eventually going to pay this guy that much money. I just don't know if anybody's worth that.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, look, if he didn't get hurt, I'd be like, yeah, that's totally acceptable.
Yeah. He's going to be out all of next year. Then you got to take like a year to like
Pitching-wise.
to like get back into it, and then you probably have a couple more years before he says, "I'm just focusing on hitting."
Right.
So
And he's still
eventually,
a great hitter, but
he's a great
$70
hitter. But I mean,
million
he hits.
But even like, let's
he hits
say-
45 home runs, 50 home runs. Like, there are guys you can get that for half that.
But even if he let's say he comes back to what he is.
Well, then it's a great deal.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a
But
steal, but it's
I-
fair.
I mean,
I genuinely
in 3
don't
years
think-
it's a steal.
I don't think he'll.
If pitchers are getting 50,
I don't think this is going to reset the market that much. I think he's such a unicorn and such like an outlier that like he's not like Mahomes great, but like we've seen great quarterbacks before. So it like makes sense that it raised the bar for other great quarterbacks. Otani is such a one-off thing that I almost feel like it shouldn't affect that. But I guess it will, but
like let's.
everyone should just be like, well, that was Otani. Like, let's get back to reality.
If he becomes what he is, if he stays what he is, high-end pitchers make 45 a year. Right?
Almost. Some,
And then
yeah.
what do high-end hitters at? And
I mean, Judge got 40.
in 3 years he'll be underpaid if he is what he.
I just feel like inevitably, I don't think he can play both ways for all that long. Maybe he will, but I just feel like inevitably you pick one once, like, if either start to suffer a little bit, I feel like you're just like, let me.
Yeah, but until then, I would get
until then,
3 years where he's very underpaid, and then by the time it's over, you probably
It's the standard.
It's probably
not standard, but it's like a lot more closer. It just sucks. It's the Dodgers. The Dodgers are kind of like a new age Yankees, where it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad it wasn't the Blue Jays. Like for me, I'm fine with it being.
I don't think there was ever a even shred of a chance he was going to the Toronto Blue Jays.
I saw your 1 minute man. Do you think that conspiracy is real?
I kind of do.
So you've seen the conspiracy too that he was.
Yeah, that
He was the one leaking it. I think it's a little suspect for like his camp to do the whole like, if anybody talks about our negotiations, I will penalize you for that. And then there
Which
to be
is
a
so
full blown.
stupid, by the way.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
But also, it's not what happened.
Yeah, because Dave Roberts literally
Dave
talked
Roberts
about
literally
it. Yeah.
talked about it.
Right. That was funny when Dave Roberts. Okay.
I think that's just something you say in hopes that people shut the fuck up, but like you don't actually penalize.
Right.
people for it.
Yeah. I think it's more like a deterrent. But then all of a sudden to have this like full-blown frenzy of like, I'm on a plane on the way there.
Right.
And then that Dodgers exec was like, we didn't know, we were not sure, and we didn't like that. Sounds like it worked.
Yeah.
So it's either Otani got blessed by John Morosi getting duped by somebody, and this one tweet gives you $100 million extra, or an agent of some kind, or somebody from your camp. Or I also think there's a chance that Otani maybe was like leaking a bunch of different things to see who's
Right.
locked
Locked up.
in his camp, and then it's like, all right, I told Tommy that I was going to go to the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays is the report. I know that he's the
Yeah.
rat,
I did see something on Twitter that makes me think that this isn't a real conspiracy, but I scrolled past, I couldn't find it. That apparently the person on the flight everybody was tracking was one of the sharks from Shark Tank.
They share the same agency.
Yeah, the guy.
Robert?
Yes, Robert.
Yeah. I saw something that was like how this Shark Tank's flight affected all of baseball.
Dude, the thing that really tips it off for me is the person that originally found the plane, it was their first tweet in 10 years, a random burner account.
Oh.
So that's a little suspicious.
That is
Then that
very
account got deactivated.
So that makes you think what?
That it may have been an Otani league.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were saying the opposite.
I mean, it's suspicious. Like, you haven't tweeted in 10 years, and all of a sudden you're going to, like, leak out a flight for the largest free agent signing in history.
Yeah, and like everybody runs with it and talks about it. I mean, that's some grimy shit, but it's awesome.
Yeah. It is scummy, but it's also like, I guess it's also really good agents.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
good.
something similar to that.
That's
Great agent.
To me, that's like what an agent should do. It's like, okay, I pay you to like sit at the table and like negotiate and argue about clauses and stuff. But what I'm really doing is like arguing, like, do this shit. You know what I mean, I want some fucking spycraft to get me my money. But 700 is just, I remember when Kevin Brown got $100 million. He was the first $100 million player in baseball.
Loser, Kevin Brown.
What?
Loser. Killed the Yankees.
Yeah, it's a weird one for you know who the first NBA $100 million man is?
Is it Rashard Lewis? No. It has to be before that. But I remember Rashard Lewis
before
getting
that.
a weird amount.
It's
of money.
Jawan Howard.
Jawan
Howard in 1996 got a $100 million deal. It's a weird, like you would never think he would be the $100 million man. But those numbers were so big for so long. A-Rod's 252 was such an outlier for so long. And now right to 700. Like it went pretty. Yeah. It was always in like the 2, and then there was like a little bit of 3, and then Trout was like the $400 million man.
Judge last year was.
Yeah, but then to just bam, like double up like that. Where does it stop though? Because like you said, if that becomes the going rate.
But it is also like
the
with
next guy get
inflation
$1 billion?
and stuff, like it isn't as crazy as.
But all other things to remember, like we kind of talk about this with athletes, like none of them are, well, not none, but like the team isn't giving them this deal as in like, we're gonna give this guy a bunch of money. Like they're gonna make money on him.
Yeah, for sure.
So like when it's like where
hopefully
does it stop?
win.
It's like probably nowhere.
That's what's so fascinating.
As long as they keep making, they come out ahead on all this.
The team in the league are making money on them.
Yeah.
Like how can they possibly I get there's massive teams of people like analysts figuring out how much money they're gonna make, but like how can you project 10 years out and be like, okay, here's what's happening for the next 10 years. We pay him this, we're gonna make this much. Like how much calculation?
I mean, they'll make that money back in probably 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It's just like how much calculation
sickening.
goes into it versus how much hype and how much do these places get caught up in the moment, or is it strictly here are our numbers?
The run time, the cost to probably buy a commercial on the Dodgers game last year is going to go up. Like the ticket prices are going to go up. They do sell out anyway, so it's not like it's going to help attendance, but you can jack the ticket prices.
Yeah, there was some rumor talk about people buying season tickets to the Blue Jays and shit in that moment. I don't know if that happened or not, but that sucks.
I imagine the Angels never did it because they're not smart, but I would think the smart play if you're the owner of the Dodgers is to set up a TV deal in Japan.
Yeah, you just go global with it and let them watch.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Can they do that?
How
Everybody, or it's like you just go to the Japanese markets with whoever have your exclusive deals now. You know what I mean, you just
maybe they're definitely
globally.
There's got to be something.
They probably have Dodgers.tv and it's $9.99.
Yeah,
and you can watch it on demand.
Right.
We have to Chromecast it to your television. It's probably. I think everybody.
You're able to skip ahead to the end of the game. see what happens.
Then Riggs golfing comes up.
Just watching Lurch putt, waiting for Otani to fucking
Watching
start.
Mookie Betts take batting practice.
They are going to be so fucking good. I hope they.
Their rotation is not great. But
Negative.
New
York fucking fan.
No,
I hope they still don't fucking win.
Yeah, that would be.
It's objectively
That'd be
funny.
great.
Also, people being like the Dodgers have won a World Series. It's like, not fucking that ring. It truly, genuinely doesn't really count as much. I'm not going to say it doesn't count at all, but if the Dodgers era comes away with that being the COVID ring being their one championship, it's for sure lesser than.
With baseball in particular, with hockey and basketball, there's still the arguments about the bubble and things like that. And you could maybe make the argument that it was harder to win in that situation.
Yeah.
But when you played a 60-game season and shit like that, the hockey and basketball played a full season more or less.
Yeah.
And then had their championship.
Yeah, baseball was completely an asterisk, every which way.
I have one thing to add. You were just talking about Otani's TV thing. So this Japanese broadcast, NHK, was doing every Otani game. They follow they just have a camera on him in the dugout.
The whole time?
They don't.
It's sick.
It's just all.
They just show him.
Once he stopped playing, the rest of his arm and the season was over, they just stopped broadcasting Angels.
How did that work?
Right.
They were paying the Angels for those rights.
I assume
It had
so.
to be, right?
Yeah,
you
I would only imagine they're doing the exact same thing with the Dodgers. But apparently, they would every single step that guy makes on the field, they follow.
He's more of a reality TV show than a baseball player at that point. It's
He's a god for them.
Yeah.
He's a mythological creature.
Yeah.
But he's real.
He's a mythological creature. It really is. It's that's where there is some level of I don't know if other athletes will be able to be like, well, Otani got this, so I got that. It's like, you're not fucking Otani. But you make the argument for sure. So
another thing you also said, the market going up and all that. It's a little different with NBA and NHL and NFL because they have a salary cap. So that all goes up. That doesn't happen. So he's almost like an anomaly. And then a really good pitcher makes $300-something million, like a superstar, and a really good hitter makes that. It's kind of like.
But when every sport does these things, I don't know how they figure it out, but they're like the actual projected value of LeBron James is like $120 million
Right.
a year. I don't know how they figure that out. But almost like every time, those people are underpaid.
Yeah.
I've never seen a scenario, where like the god level athletes are overpaid. So in that regard,
I think Cuban said Luka Doncic is worth $200 million a year.
it's like
That's crazy.
if that
That's just based on ticket sales, on jerseys, on probably alcohol sales
performance
from the stadium when they're in.
Yeah.
and even, I'm sure there's
Actually, that wasn't what he said he was worth. That's what he said he would pay him. He's like, if there wasn't a salary cap, I'd give him $200 million a year.
because there's also
I mean, yeah,
just, like, an
basketball
intangible-
players would be, with no salary cap, the most paid athletes because like they matter more than any other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, quarterbacks maybe, but otherwise, like
Yeah,
star basketball.
You go get a star player,
They're
you're a
celebrities.
contender.
Basketball, you have, or football, you do have to pay 53 guys. Like basketball, there's 5 guys.
And they're celebrities. If you're a good basketball player, you're a celebrity.
Right.
Yeah, those. I mean, more so than anybody, the cap in the NBA fucking kills those dudes. They must look around, whenever the league started and whenever all like the first negotiations went on, and baseball just somehow locked down no cap, all guaranteed. It's like the greatest fucking.
There's so many people now, but like, they think he's making more than 6 teams or something like that, and they're like, yo, we need a salary floor and all that. Like, you're gonna hear that more and more.
Yeah.
I don't think it will always be like this.
How can you never have a floor?
The floor makes a lot of sense to me.
I don't think owners will want to, like, those owners will never agree to that.
Well, then fucking sell the team.
Never, Bob Nutting
Yeah.
will never.
Right. That there should be some level of like, then you have to sell the team.
If you're, it's like with the salary cap, the luxury tax. If you're over it for 3 years, you get raised at 3. Maybe 2.
Yeah, and then like over the highest threshold, the Cohen threshold, it's like every dollar you're just like
You get like 50%. Yeah.
But you should have the reverse should exist.
It should.
And it goes back. That's what's annoying is it goes back to the fucking poor teams that won't spend the money.
But like, why? If you own a team, the Indians, the Pirates, like, sell it. Because it's still worth like a couple billion, probably.
Right.
Some of these teams, like one of the maybe like the really low end, like the A's are probably like. What do you think the A's are worth?
I mean, with the Vegas deal, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's different. But like
the Pirates, whatever, you can get a few bill, I think.
right. So you still like, you clearly don't like doing this. You're not investing in it. It's probably just a headache for you. What do you fucking care?
But
Sell
they
it
make
to-
a ton of money. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Edelman said that like. What you know what a player makes every year, so you can easily get mad at them to say they're overpaid. No one knows what an owner makes. What an owner makes every year should be announced too.
Yeah. Well, that we were heading
level
towards
of
that
play
with the
field. Yeah.
negotiations where they were like, open the books,
Right.
and I don't know, that kind of
Never do it.
that died down. Yeah. They're probably making so much. I mean, if you really start to look at it, like little hints here and there, like giving a guy $700 million, you're probably like, we can do that.
They're selling beers for $18. I will have, if I go to, I'll have 10 beers.
It's probably like the greatest like
In an hour.
mafia in the world. The owners of leagues
Like Dodger Dog's gonna be $25,
Yeah.
$30,
Right?
just for a Dodger Dog, and like they'll get away with it.
and people will do it.
People want to they have a whole
Yeah.
different audience to see this.
And until anybody ever like strikes or doesn't go, which is never gonna happen. It's
Not when you got Otani.
Most embarrassing thing is when sports fans try to do the billboards and the planes and like boycott the.
But it's just us who are bad at it. Europe knows how to do it. Europe knows how to do everything. Where
They do it with soccer teams.
I mean, do you remember when they tried to make the Super League?
Yeah, they shut that down real
They
quick.
shut it down in fucking 2 seconds. They tried to
Yeah.
make a Super League like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And all the Europeans just revolted. It's like how the French you try to make them work 9 to 5, they're gonna riot. Like,
Yeah,
they-
deep down in America, we know everyone's gonna kind of fall in line.
Right.
Whether it's at
Which
work,
is
whether
ironic because we started with started with a revolution.
then we got
started by
fat
being
and
like, fuck that, and then we just gave up on that.
If you really care, you're gonna go home and watch some Netflix, get your Uber Eats, whatever. I'm not gonna go.
We were a one and done rebellion.
He's like,
It was a sick
we
rebellion.
were like, yo, that was a whole thing. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
Let's just let him get away with murder here.
when John Henry had just bought Liverpool, they went to raise ticket prices. And I remember I wrote the blogs. I was defending John Henry because at the time, it was probably 2015 maybe. Like Sox were on the heels of a championship. Maybe it was even earlier than then. And I was like, I remember writing the blog being like, look, here's like what I can say about John Henry. Yes, ticket prices will go up. Yes, there will be dumb giveaways at the stadium. But whenever there's a big free agent on the market, his checkbook is open. And like
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, so those days are over.
The like Liverpool they all went, and then everyone at halftime left because he tried to raise the ticket prices like €5 or £5. And like you could just watch, and I think that's like more powerful than just not showing up. Like watching everyone leave. They had like a sign, I forget what it said, but it was something about the working class or whatever. And then guess what? Ticket prices got fixed. Like we are not coordinated enough here.
God, no.
We're not
people,
the
it's too
9/11
big.
terrorists.
No,
we don't have that level of coordination.
no, we do not. No, we do not.
Henry's still raising them, and people still go.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're suckers. Yeah.
I think Liverpool has since lost that battle, but they won it for a little while.
As far as some Barstool stuff goes, Tommy, did you stand up?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It went exactly how we wanted it to. It was awful. For anyone that doesn't know, it was me, Caroline, Rudy for Please End This. We had this like talent show all year, competition. Whoever lost had to do stand-up written by other people. I ended up losing. So like Rudy, Caroline, John Foley, Nick, KB, like Nate, Trent, a bunch of people wrote this 5-minute set for me as this character, Mikey Badabupe, who was taping his special for Tubi and has opened for Sebastian Maniscalco before. And I wore like a backwards hat. I thought, yeah, Mikey Badabupe, like, and
No way.
it was, I mean, Fights was there.
But it was like,
I memorized it. Yeah,
it was like, you know.
It was intentionally bad. Like, not even, they weren't even jokes.
To anybody not in the know, you just looked like a regular comic trying.
Right, like, so like there was like maybe 10, 15 Barstool people there, but I was like, I didn't want the whole crowd to be Barstool, like that defeats the whole purpose. But luckily there were like, it was at Stand Up NY, so there was like maybe 30, 40, 30.
That's a good crowd to have to.
There were maybe 40 people total.
Yeah, and maybe like 10, 15 Barstool people.
15 Barstool.
But if you're talking, 30
probably
people,
20 and 30 people who did not know that I was doing a
prank.
bit or anything, and they were like, this is the, and it was dead silent. I mean, Fights can give his audience.
I was like this the entire time. Just like
but it's one thing when bombing for real is the worst thing that can happen to a person. Bombing on purpose is a totally
right. So
different
that's
animal.
why, like, I felt pretty.
Because you're not getting nervous. You're not like, oh my God, I suck.
Going into it that day, or like the days coming up, I was like, whatever, like this will be fun. Right before I got on stage, I was very nervous because I know it. Like, I knew that it was going to be bad, but like, still, it is nerve-wracking. I've never done stand up before, so it's still nerve-wracking to go up there. But like, once I got through the first couple lines and like I saw the songs, I felt more comfortable. So like, yeah, example, like the first thing is like, yeah, Mikey Badabupe, the stand-up. It's like, how about those female comedians earlier? There were no, and then they're giving me blue balls, call me Papa Smurf. That's it. That's the whole deal. And then just forget about it, and just deads. Like, they weren't like jokes that were like too far and wrong. They were just not
jokes. Do you know how badly you fucked me in Feitelberg on this whole little bit?
No.
You fucked us so good, so fucking hard. We had Mark Normand on KFC Radio, and it was probably like a day or two before your thing. Foley comes in and is like, hey, can we grab Mark real quick? We're filming a bit. And that's what I've been trying to encourage here is that sort of stuff. Like, grab the guests, let's do here, let's do there. And he's like, Mark, I need you to give me a bad joke, an intentionally bad joke for this thing that we're doing. And Mark's like, oh, like right now? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I don't know, I usually try to make them good. And then Foley's like, all right, I'll give you an example. Like, I don't know. Elon Musk, I call him Elon Tusk because he's got 2 dicks, one to fuck, whatever. And Mark thought he meant like say that, like here's the joke, I'm giving it to you. So we're like, action, and Mark starts going, I call him Elon Tusk, and Foley's like, no, I've already done that one. I need you to do another one. And me and John are sitting there like,
I was actually more uncomfortable during this than I was.
Yeah, the whole time I'm going, this is kind of a big ask, man. I don't know. This is, maybe we can just like.
I was like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah, that's me and Caroline probably should have been in there.
Well, that's what he said. He was like, Tommy, you were sick that day.
I literally was on my way to the ENT.
Yes. Yeah. So he was like, so I tried to do it, and Foley has been like so apologetic and was like, he's like, I've been thinking about it like all day and night, like I shouldn't have done it. But in the moment, I was like, usually these things are like, what's your favorite color? And we're just putting together a clip. We're asking one of like the most popular comedians of the time right now to, on the spot, come up with new material that's intentionally bad. I was just like, oh my God, make it end.
It was probably 5 minutes, maybe.
Yep. It was a.
Dude, I kind of want the raw footage of that.
That actually
the raw
might
footage
be
is Kevin sitting on the couch going like this, and me looking at the ground just kicking it.
I was gonna say John just kept kicking. The kicking was so. He was just like marching in place, being like, and I just kept going, Mark. I don't think you have to do it. He was like, Mark, if you know Mark, he's like, no, it's fine, I'll do it. And even afterwards, I was like, yo, you know, sorry about that. And he was like, it's like he really didn't care. If I could pick one of the people to have that happen to, it would be one of the guys we know, you know. I almost kind of wish it was Sebastian, because Sebastian Maniscalco was in like maybe a couple days later, because I could see him being like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we doing? But, oh my God, that was maybe the most awkward moment of my career.
If I may, as terrible as Tommy's set was.
No.
No, I'm not. It was still funnier than what SNL did in that cold open. Like, at least you knew Tommy was like.
What was it, the Harvard thing or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Pat, you saw it, right?
I didn't watch the whole thing. No.
Oh, it's so bad that you would think like Tommy.
You would think it was a purposely bad. It was so bad.
Is it this thing that was on?
I started it.
I saw like the clip where it was like, no, make it sound more Harvard.
It was like
all the writers who are from Harvard.
Clearly, the funny angle there would be to be like, it's insane that these three deans could not condemn anti-Semitism, and instead they like made fun of the congresswoman, where they were like, I'm being the star of this. It was like such a weird angle to take, and dead silence in the crowd.
This thing with Harvard, Penn, and MIT is one of the strangest things I think that has ever happened.
It's crazy.
Like, what are you guys fucking doing? It is insane to not just. It is the easiest thing in the world.
What's the upside of not? Like.
Well, I guess I really don't know what the upside is.
I think they think they're being somehow. I mean, you know.
They're trying to protect free speech.
Yeah, some of that shit, and I know there's a bunch of like the free.
But they know.
Palestine
I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm Tucker Carlson now. But imagine the question was like, is that bad against like trans students or something? Like, obviously they would say yes.
Right.
But I'm dipping into Trump.
I do get a kick out of Kirk. If you keep an ear to some of Kirk's wild, fights with journalists. Knowing that there are journalists who have like actively crusaded against him, this back-to-back tweet is very funny. With I even know who this Shirley woman is because of Kirk. So this journalist in Boston who has always gone after Kirk, specifically back in 2018, a tweet saying, Margot and I have been listening to WEEI to track down advertisers one by one. Here's what happened. So they were like going after advertisers because they don't like what Kirk Minahan has to say. Now tweets, Claudine Gay's Harvard fate should be decided by Harvard boards alone, not under pressure from rich donors, prominent alumni, politicians, and the peanut gallery on social media. So if Harvard Corporation supports her, defend her, don't let her twist in the wind. Like, that is the most hypocritical shit. I mean, a direct hypocrisy.
Like, she should be in jail.
She
like that, like having that level of hypocrisy. I don't know. There's got to be some place you could put these.
When you're fucking with someone's career like that, like Kirk.
Yeah,
Kirk lost his job, right? Over that. Like he got fired or didn't get renewed or whatever it may have been. Like, they're
lost his life.
There's direct damages there. Like, and then you have a tweet being like, don't do that. That's bad. I'm surprised Kirk didn't like really go nuts.
Dude, people only act in
their own
self-interest.
Right. Yeah, always. Yeah,
That's
don't ever think.
Ever does. There are tweets like this from people all over the internet that get dug up. It's all about self-interest.
How is Harvard, Penn, and MIT like? I know it's a big deal, but how is it not even like a bigger deal right now?
I mean, the Penn lady, right, stepped down. One of them stepped down, the Penn lady, and like the fact that like the other two didn't immediately.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like they had to either all do it together or not do it.
Yeah. I guess I mean.
You get one little slip up where you don't condemn it.
But even once they like laid it out, like. There was no like semantics, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, genocide of Jews, bad? They're like, wow, that's insane.
If it's the act of committing genocide.
Yeah, talking about the act is like, shut the fuck up.
It might be the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like that video was.
I had seen it a million times before I actually watched it, where I was like, because like.
Yeah, Sam. I was like, "There's no way it's gonna."
I'd be like, "It's not gonna be bad," so I don't want to get let down.
Right.
And I kept seeing it, and I was like, "All right, I'll give this a watch." And I watched it, and I was like, "No, it's exactly as advertised."
Yeah.
It is.
And the fact that there's multiple of them, like if it's one, that makes me feel like it is like they all talked about it, and we're like, "No, like let's hold the line here."
Like what if I start?
Well, there's also the conspiracy, like these universities are funded from Middle Eastern countries, and they're worried about losing those donors and stuff.
It is arguably it is the worst attempt at protecting free speech, arguably of all time.
Yeah.
Literally, and that's like of all time.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you
Even
doing?
like the diehard freedom of speech people who are like, you got to defend it like all the way through. Or like, come on.
If I'm gonna defend
Get out of your own head.
I don't know who went third, but I'm gonna defend the third person. if I had to go third, and the two people in front of me were like, "It's fine," I'd be like,
What?
You change it?
my gut is saying it's a problem, but like I don't really. I gotta be missing something.
But imagine the heroics she could have had if she was like, yeah, I don't know what they're talking about.
These two assholes over here.
It's bad.
No man, I'm a fucking follower, bro. Like,
Yeah,
is
that
it bad?
is-
Like, they both said no.
Should've
It's
been a
fine.
hero.
So-
Yeah, I must be mishearing something.
I don't know what the fuck these two were talking about.
That would be the skit. That would be
Yeah,
the SNL
that
skit.
would be the
MIT
funniest
going
skit.
third, going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
I'm
skit.
sorry.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Why not know what genocide means?
Yeah.
I do.
That would be a very funny skit.
I like how we are taking a stand though with Barstool. We're not hiring anyone from those schools.
Yep. Good luck.
Good fucking luck.
Check your luggage at the fucking door. I mean, we do have 2 Harvard people.
I know,
Yeah.
which is crazy because like I would joke like I'm also not fucking Rihanna anymore. I'm
Yeah,
not,
it
there's
does
no
feel like one of
chance.
those.
It's not happening. But there are two Harvard people here who.
That's it.
It wouldn't
300, we have
stun me
2.
if somebody on the 3rd floor went to Penn. Wouldn't stun me.
Penn's a little
Not
bit,
MIT.
you know.
Penn. We have no way anyone
No
at
one from
MIT
MIT.
has ever even applied for a job.
no,
Penn,
no MIT.
I would not be stunned if we have Penn.
Yeah, we have
or
no
had a
MIT.
Penn.
We have Harvard by accident. There could be some Penn people.
Yeah.
Penn's a great.
We got a couple down and out Harvard guys.
Right. We have a couple washed out Harvard dudes. That's really about it.
We got Harvard guys.
think-
If it wasn't for Barstool, they end up in the woods selling fucking extended packages.
Do you think it? I mean, I feel like this is like, I would if I was a kid going to school right now, I would not be pumped to be like, I'm going to Harvard.
No.
Oh, God,
like,
no.
so, you know, I'm sure it blows over because like everything does eventually, but like, at least for the short term, when you normally would be like, I'm going to MIT, you're probably like, fuck.
I wonder
Yale's
if
a big
admissions
right.
numbers.
Yeah. Yo,
Yale and Princeton
that
are
is-
like, let's
that's another
go.
funny skit.
Yeah.
Yale and Princeton just clinking champagne, being like, oh, idiots, oh my God, can you believe it? Just let them fucking shoot themselves in the foot. Let's get a couple calls, and we'll get Large in here too. He was on the call for Gillian Wallow's knockout party, which looked like a fucking scene.
Looked awesome.
That was, woo. But let me take a couple calls. I just tweeted out the number, and then
Higher water.
calls today are brought to you by Pirate Water. We got the Miami Vice here. I am self-proclaimed a margarita guy for life. I think my order goes margarita, Sex on the Beach, Miami Vice, and the last one. I never remember the last one. But
Bahama Mama.
Bahama Mama. Yeah, Bahama Mama's not for me, but the rest all good. $2 a bottle, 16% alcohol by volume, or 10% alcohol by volume, 16 ounces. It is a party in a can, whether you're on a budget, whether you just want to get absolutely wild, whether you even want just to. I kind of like the idea. I've heard a lot of like dads getting home and being like, I just have one Pirate Water on ice after work. Cracks me the fuck up. But the thought of that, it's like, it's just one can, one and done. You got your buzz, the edge is off, and you're good to go. Like I said, $2 a can. It is the best deal out there. You can go to Pirate Water. Oh, the calls there. The calls come and go on this computer. I never know. So you can go to drinkpiratewater.com where you can find all the locations near you selling it, or you can have it ordered on GoPuff. You can follow along on social media at Pirate Water. But drinkpiratewater.com has all the locations near you where you can grab them. Let's get these calls. Large, you want to come on down?
When I wear these headphones, I don't know why these ones look specifically different. It makes me feel like I'm an evil little kid playing a video game. Like, look, they're just too big on
Yeah,
me.
those are
the worst.
They're like weird.
Me and I gave them to you.
in person. They don't look that bad, but on the
screen, there's
they look
something about it where it's like,
huge. We're letting the phone lines fill up here. Oh, what do we got there?
Oh, wow.
We got the $1 million worth of game belt.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the chain?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what they gave out.
That's actually awesome.
I think so too. What's up, Tommy?
So the knockout party was this weekend.
Yeah.
Everything you expected and more?
My street cred went through the fucking roof.
I bet.
Yeah, I had a bunch of new followers who I don't think were into me before. It was the first time we had an opponent piss herself during the match.
Pissed herself?
Yeah, both. She's wearing a sports bra too. Both of her breasts popped out the bottom, and not the type that you want.
Bottom.
Yeah, and so much so that the ref in between rounds went over and had to like tuck them back underneath, like a fitted sheet. It was.
I got beat up by a girl once, and she beat me up so bad that
Her titties fell out?
Her titties fell out, and that was the only reason people stopped it at a bar.
When was this?
When I was younger. It was just.
It was wailing on you?
It was in
Yeah.
May.
What was it over?
It was a dating thing, and she was not happy with me. And
So
was
she just, like-
black. It was like,
Boom, boom,
and it was
boom.
just like in a spring dress, and I was like this, and then people were like, "Excuse me, ma'am, your boobs are out." And I was like, "Oh fuck, guys!" Like, I'm in the corner, just hands up, taking a beat.
All right.
heavy.
Let's take some calls, but also while we're at it, Large. Do you have headphones there? You can pop them on. Take some calls with us. In between, you can kind of tell us stories from. Let's go to Kayla in Chicago. What's up, Kayla? Kristen in Chicago. Sorry. What's up, Kristen?
Hi. I actually was talking about the KFC radio thing you guys did, where whoever had the best voicemail of the week got pirate water and like some merch. And I was wondering if you guys ever did that, because I did not get anything.
Oh, you won the best voicemail?
Yeah, I got broken up with 5 days before my wedding dress came in.
Oh, I remember that call.
That was a good one. We do owe you that. Yeah.
If you didn't get that, then give it to the producers, or they can get it after this.
Refresh everybody real quick on the story, because we can relive it here.
Oh, I mean, I was dating this guy for 6 years, engaged, did wedding planning, was supposed to get married October 7th, and then went to Ireland for my sister's wedding, was in all the wedding photos, and then the morning we got back, he broke up with me.
Why?
What did you do?
She killed him. He's dead. He's dead now.
Bald? Are you kidding me?
I mean, it's better then than later in life, though. Let me
Dude,
say that.
doing the pictures and everything is diabolical.
I mean, that you gotta.
Biggest smile he's ever had.
Well, I guess it's better than ruining the wedding, though, right?
You're doing
Like-
family pictures. You're like, I'm gonna be on the edge.
Don't worry.
I'll take the outside.
Because if you did it then, the wedding would have been about the breakup.
You can't ruin the sister's wedding by doing that. So, Kristen, we will make sure you get all of your pirate water gear. Hopefully, that makes the lack of wedding better.
Yeah, nothing
eases your
slides
pain.
in seamlessly like a 6-pack of pirate water and a couple T-shirts.
I'll put you back on hold, and we'll have the guys take down your information. Okay?
It's funny how sexist we are. Like, this guy walked away, and you were like, what did you do to him?
Yeah, that's what I meant, and she didn't.
Beautiful bitch.
Let's go to Kayla in North Carolina. What's up, Kayla?
Hey, I just wanted to know what the hardest part of living in the office was and surviving Barstool.
Hardest part of living in the office. I will tell you what I thought it was going to be, and I genuinely mean this, and this is not an over-the-top plug, but Factor made it so much better eating.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what are we just going to order food like every single night? Are we just going to be eating like, snacks the whole time from the kitchen? But I probably ate better that week. I'm having salmon, I'm having filet mignon, usually at home I'm just eating like tacos and shit. So I thought it was gonna be that. The actual worst part, I don't know. It was not a problem for me at all.
I was gonna say, I can't tell you one bad
when
thing.
people like the first time around, I think we're going a little crazy and like were happy to get fresh air when they got voted out and stuff.
So yeah, the first season I literally was
chilling.
dying.
That was
remember
stressful.
I was like, because I think it was January. We're in 6th season for me now, and so like being indoors, the dust mite allergies were bad. But
dude, within like one day, your lips were red.
my
your
face was
skin
right.
Oh,
Yeah, it was gross. But we filmed this in October,
different
so I was
story.
healthy as an ox, and I had that experience, so it didn't affect me at all.
I didn't even have a moment where I thought about it. I didn't even have like a oh man, I haven't seen the sun in a couple days, or like, oh boy, I could really use some fresh air. Like I did not. We got 1 second outside where we left the main office and we have the where we did the balloon thing.
You didn't want to go?
No, but but it was like we got outside and I think some people were like, oh, like made comments. I was like, I don't know.
Bro, we had to wait to get inside for the balloons, and we were staying on the sidewalk, and I was like, oh, time to get into a building.
I was gonna say, indoors, please. I don't like any.
No one's ever looked more comfortable as you in the robe. You settled in nicely.
I could chill here. I mean, it was great. The like movie night with the boys, play some games with the fellas, eat some meals. Like I was like, what more do you need in life?
Yeah, it was it was a good time.
It was also,
really,
you know, it was.
I definitely slept better because I don't have like blinds and shit in my apartment. So like, I slept in the KFC radio studio and like.
You know what? I'll tell you this though. Like, I mean, we're only talking about
blinds yet.
No blinds.
You've been there for 5 years.
It's crazy.
I've been there 3 years.
You can walk to his apartment. You can see right in the windows to the point that it is like unsettling.
Dude, I've walked
Like,
by
I
his
could just
apartment and
see
I've
him.
seen him
Yeah,
standing
you
there.
can just see him there.
Just like eating something, watching TV. I'm like,
Have you really?
Dude, your windows are.
I'm there every night.
I'm gonna flip the script. He was my Secret Santa.
Yeah, got
That's
you a
from
real
him.
nice.
That's one of my bottles.
Yeah.
Somebody tell you no.
No, I
He
figured it out.
remembered your Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I spoke to Gaz about it. Gaz was going to a, Gaz is now only goes to places that serve duck 3 ways. So he was asking me about wine, so I was giving him one of the things. It's exactly how I like it.
Yeah.
Well, that was the.
What is
that
it?
was the- that was
Chateau de, how do you say that? Bocastel?
Yeah, then the Chateau Neuf de Pop downstairs. It's good. It's like dark and complex.
That was the worst part of the
Yeah, I like
present,
my
though.
cock. Yeah. Oh yeah. And this, I don't know what this is. So it's a porn subscription.
Yeah.
Right, and he's like, give St. Annie a break for a weekend,
He wrote
enjoy
on
a bottle of red, and get involved. And then he set up a Gmail account for me on the slide with a password, and so it's for what?
But do you know?
Oh.
Turn it over.
Turn it over, bro.
I'm sorry.
You have a new subscription, right to.
That's for my OnlyFans live.
Oh, I thought it was like for a porn. That's my
It is. I mean, it is.
Oh,
It's
Well, I
porn.
actually went to
my
block
God,
you
it's
last
probably
night, but it said I would have to give the money back.
Oh, so I'm in this. I thought you grabbed this over Patty's
So he
desk.
No,
made
no.
you.
My daughter gets me a porn one every Father's Day, and it just ran out, so this was perfect.
Yeah, 6 months too.
Really?
Yeah, I set
So
you
I'm
up.
on with you.
Now,
You're on.
and if
Oh,
I,
that's fucking
I don't want to ruin the surprise, but the way Pat described it is every now and then he takes a picture of the trunk of his cock.
And I did that once.
Yes.
We were like, do you put your
Once.
dick on there? And he goes, no, not my dick, just the trunk. I was like,
Trunk.
So you can see the base of Pat's cock.
I did that one time.
What a crazy profile picture.
This is the most
Your
Yeah,
porn.
yeah, bro, you look like a fucking like Trump guy. It's like
Well,
that looks like a Facebook
you
photo.
know, like the meme where it's like dimensions. Here's dimensions, and it's just a bunch of white.
Yeah.
That's what that picture.
ladies, if you're at home right now,
That's like a dad's
Ladies and gentlemen.
Facebook picture from vacation.
I expect at least 1,000 of new subscribers today. If you want to support me, let me know. I did try to block Large Joe, but it said, oh, you'd have to give the money back. Oh, is he really going to look?
Oh, I'm all over it.
I got to block
Bottle
him
of
now.
wine.
How much does
You'll
a
get a
bottle of wine
refund.
run you, John?
This is, I mean, I would.
Like a buck
Yeah,
80.
mid-100,
Oh,
yeah,
that's a
mid-100s.
nice bottle of
Yeah,
wine.
You overpaid for it, but it's but it's actually
Dude, you can't get anything for a reasonable price around here, right? Everything's jacked up.
yeah. But I mean, you know, in a restaurant, I mean, that's a
Oh,
yes.
We should drink it on
Yeah.
on the radio at 7 in the morning.
We should, yeah, there's no better.
Yeah, what do you do with something like this? Are you gonna drink this like tonight, or you save this?
No, I mean, it's very drinkable. It's 2020, so I'll probably have it on the holidays.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to open it up probably around a fire pit with a cigar, and we're going to drink that.
And then
It's a
fucking
big bottle,
look at
too.
Pat
And then get to Pat's. Yeah.
Yeah, and then start jerking off the Pat's feet. Right? Merry Christmas, everybody. To all a good night.
You gotta,
Yeah.
To all a good night.
I will tell you what, the last thing I'll say about this rough and rowdy thing, these guys are extraordinary. I haven't spent a lot of time.
You mean the fighters?
No, $1 million worth of game.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't think that's a shock that I haven't spent a lot of time with those guys. But we did L.A. last year for the Clash for NASCAR because they do a race inside the Coliseum. They fill it with asphalt. It's an engineering marvel. Those guys went down. I didn't realize they're celebrity till I was in L.A. with them.
Oh, yeah.
And then I tried to listen to some of their stuff on the drive down to Delaware. Again, I'm not their target demographic, but they're almost like self-help gurus. And then when they get in there with their fans, it is extraordinary. These guys are legitimate fucking Black Tony Robbins / whatever the hell else it is. So I was really impressed. If they do it again, they'd ask me to come back because it worked out well for us, I guess. They sold out the arena, which we don't do a lot with Rough and Rowdy's down unless we have something special going on. And the crowd there was the most security I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Where was it?
It was in the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware. Pat Bev came straight from the 76ers game.
Yeah.
Shows up in a sweater vest, fucking $100,000 watch.
Yep.
Listen, I left my wallet in the hotel safe. Whatever. Pat Bev showed up in a Rolls Royce, pulls up, leaves it running, and comes in and watched the fights.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm sitting there. And you know that Key and Peele skit where the president is going down and saying hello to all the white guys? And that's exactly what happened with me. Every celebrity would come by would see the two black dudes, dap them up, and then not even notice me. And I didn't mind it until Pat Bev did it. So I was like, security guard Mike, tell him who I am. Holy shit, large. You know what I mean? 'Cause all they see is a blank space.
I probably thought you were security too.
And then I had to do something with a guy named Freeway, who I remember is a famous Philly fucking rapper. So me and Freeway were courts ringside while Gillian Wallow got in the ring for the ring card girl thing, which was
incredible.
Yeah, it was
I mean, the ring card girl is always a a little special.
Yeah,
they were
100%.
involved. But this was
and there was so many fights. Gilly's very much a good instigator. Like he's right in everyone's. The weigh-in was fucking wild, the whole deal. So I think if it becomes, I know the pay-per-views were light, but perhaps there's some FOMO for their, their following, so they'd want to tune into it next time. It was a hell of a night.
The live spectacle for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said,
that's what you need first to build it too, though. Is like when I saw that like the field house was fucking rocking. You're like, okay, this is a full event, and then you do it a couple more times. You start to get, how about that chick who just left the ring? That was awesome.
Yeah, so Zaza, she was fighting. Who the hell was she fighting? Not Meatball. Yeah, she was fighting Meatball. So
Zaza versus Meatball.
Yeah, so Meatball goes after her and starts punching her, and the ref went to break it up, and she's like, fuck it, and she walked right out.
I respect that move. Just like, I got no shot.
Auntie something whose tits fell out. By the way, like 2 shaved dachshunds, not like good tits. And like her boyfriend got blown by the guy. There's Zaza leaving right now.
That's the best storyline I've ever heard in Rough and Rowdy.
Yeah, her boyfriend got blown by this other girl, and the boyfriend's like, that's it, I'm not coming back. And so then Gillian Wallow.
Didn't she say she was like, I said I was going to suck his dick. Yeah. Sucked his dick. I'm going to suck his dick again.
Gillian Wallow gave her like a banana. I think she opened up both ends and then sucked it out of the peel. Like just to show you, like she'd take a fucking color off a golf ball. Yeah. So it was different for me. I asked him, so I was allowed to say the N-word for a half hour.
I was going to say, did you get the pass?
I did not use it. And it was good. So it was a good time. If they do it again, you guys should tune in.
Where it was.
Mincy's going next time.
I saw the 76 in the. Was that like in the?
That's
field?
like they're training. It's actually a bigger thing than just the arena. There was a couple of like fields, indoor fields connected to it. It was a very impressive. Structure that they had there, and the 76ers, I guess, use it for some training facilities.
Okay.
I don't even know what the semantics are of Wilmington, Delaware. All I know is that I got there in about 2 hours.
From here?
Yeah. And from northern New Jersey, and you guys know, every time we have to go somewhere, the worst part about it is the semantics of getting there.
Sixers G League team plays there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sixers G League.
Who the fuck's that? And so it's the, I would sign up for that every time. We should do it there every time, which we're not.
Delaware, I feel like, might be the most forgotten state.
It's a weird.
For good
like
reason.
we just, enough things happen in in the Northeast, we're talking about enough things happen in like Providence, in Rhode Island, enough things, Connecticut has enough of a presence. Like, I feel like we haven't done anything in Delaware, like, ever. I'm sure there's a couple blackouts.
Yeah.
Big tax haven down there. I know Mangold owns a place down there, like on the beach.
What's the Dewey Beach is the big spot. I did that once. That's a great.
I've been there a few times. It is like outside of that, it's like, why are you living here?
I feel like it's
that's how I feel.
It's just the tax shit, right?
Yeah, I think
that's not even to live. That's just to incorporate there, right?
Rehoboth Beach,
I believe
Delaware.
So. Yeah, Rehoboth, and then they have the.
Dewey's a big deal though. Dewey's up there with like.
Across that.
The tables in the water.
No, that's you start to get to the Mid-Atlantic. It's like Secrets is down in Maryland in Ocean City.
Ocean City.
And then you get to Dewey Beach, and it's got the Starbird is the big bar there, and they have the orange crushes. They just they have the machine. They just crush oranges, so you get like fresh squeezed orange juice in your
This
cocktails.
is booze.
and
I
you
think a
can-
great comparison is what Providence, Rhode Island is to Boston, Wilmington, Delaware is to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Follow that.
See that?
Who's a Philly?
A lot of steps down happening there.
Yeah. Providence.
I didn't feel the need to stay. The second night we had, hotel rooms and stuff, but I got on the road sometime after midnight and got home by 2 o'clock. So if it was a great place, I probably would have stayed next year.
Yeah.
I went to go see Napoleon while I was down there, so I saw a little bit of whatever. And I'm not going back except for Rough and Rowdy.
All right, we have Ty from the Bay Area. Ty, I'll let you take it away. What's up, Ty?
Hey, fellas, how you doing?
Good, man.
So I'm in a bit of a conundrum right now. Family, we, not personally, but we lost a toddler. It's kind of a distant cousin.
Holy shit, it said family member. I didn't know it was going to be a kid.
Yeah, and they know everybody in the family is going to be in the same place at the same time on Christmas Eve, and that's when they planned it.
Planned what? The funeral?
The funeral.
So you're mad that you got to go to a funeral for a dead baby on Christmas Eve, bro?
No, I want to know what the fucking spread is going to be.
Oh my God.
We're going to send you a case of pirate water as condolences. Yeah.
That was great.
I would. What just happened? Look, it's a fair question.
Is it? Is he expecting a theme?
I mean, what kind of spread would you get? Jesus.
I mean, that's a funny fucking call.
Probably Lunchables.
Oh my God.
I had a few up here and I just got dumped. So thank you.
Lunchables.
Lunchables are delicious, man. I don't know what to tell you. Lunchables.
That's fucked up.
Lunchables are great.
That's funny, but fucked up. Let's go to Mariah. She has a similar situation.
What do you want me to do with that call? I'm trying here. I'm
A similar
grasping at
situation,
straws here.
except no dead baby.
I mean, I'm glad I'm glad he went in that. I thought it was going to be like, can we raise a GoFundMe or something? Like, bro, this is the saddest call out. I'm glad he
Well, it said
like fucking
family
Anthony
member passed away. I'm like, I don't know, grandpa kicked the bucket, whatever.
Yeah.
Dead toddler is a new one. Add that to your Barstool
and
Radio.
Anthony
bingo.
Jeselnik on the other line.
What's up, Mariah?
So my wedding's on December 30th. I wanted to see what your opinions were on if it was way too close to New Year's Eve. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, so December 30th, but the 31st is...
That's the Saturday. The 31st is a Sunday. New Year's Day is on a Monday. So I think you get away with
I think
that.
you're good.
Well, I mean, we have a Barstool wedding on the 31st. Chuck is getting married on the 31st. To me, I
love that.
Yeah, I don't really like New Year's Eve in terms of having to get plans. I think it's kind of sad. So I like, oh, cool, like a party, just a set party with.
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going. Are you going?
When you get older, a New Year, I've never been to a New Year's wedding, but a New Year's wedding,
rocks.
I would
It's
imagine.
a fun time.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just do it on New Year's Eve?
That's Sunday.
So
But
the
everyone has a day
30th
off.
is our dating anniversary.
Oh, so that works out pretty perfect too.
We'll
And I
have
also
just
think,
one anniversary.
I mean, I guess people have off Monday, so you could do it Sunday.
Right.
But yeah, if there's somebody who's like complaining that you have to go out 2 nights in a row now, this does not affect your New Year's plans unless you were gonna like travel for New Year's Eve, and then you're like, now I can't.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like you go to something on Saturday night. Now you have something on Sunday night.
Let me ask her a question. God forbid your family was to lose an infant. How would that screw up your menu? Like, would it be something like baby lamb chops?
I think you're good, Mariah. I think you should just rock out and have a good time. And anybody who says otherwise, fuck them. Don't let them in. Are there people complaining?
No, we haven't had any complaints. I just have thought about it.
No, you're good.
Personally. So-
Just let it rip and enjoy it.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
I'm 14.
26, you're probably, that's like, if I was 26, I'd be totally fine.
Your hangovers aren't there yet.
I was gonna say you can
fine.
rage that whole weekend now. It's
But I meant like, I thought maybe you're too young. I think that's probably right around when I started being okay.
Don't get it
party
wrong.
holidays.
She's way too young. Mariah, you're insane.
I'm
But
talking
whatever, have a good
about
time.
for wedding time. I mean for like, Yes, for wedding time. I don't mean for the wedding itself, but like for the time. There were probably up until I was like 24, where I was like, fucking, let's rage kind of deal. 26, I was probably like, all right, let's.
I mean, at the wedding to be like, just like.
To lose New Year's to a wedding.
Got it.
So, I think when I was 26 or 27, I lost the 4th of July to a wedding, and I was like, that's fine.
Not
that's
that big
cool.
of a deal. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I think you're very much in the clear. Don't worry about it.
An America-themed wedding.
Let's go to Bo in New York, who has a conspiracy theory for us. What's up, Bo?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing? What you got?
You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So just, surviving Barstool. I'm surprised this hasn't been brought up unless I missed it. But, I mean, I think Fights is getting paid under the table or something from Factor, because I feel like 100% of his time is just eating or talking about food.
We just finished KFC Radio, and one of our producers, Pavs, I think his sister or his friend or somebody texted him being like, I love Feitelberg, but the only time he's on camera is when he's eating Factor meals. you should get like a side deal from them. You really should. It's
the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing.
It fits the character perfectly, though. That's what he's doing. He's just hanging and eating.
It's great.
I said on KFC Radio, like, I'm obviously watching along. I'm aware I'm not in the show at all. That's not an accident. I'm not like, what the fuck, they cut this out? Like, I was playing the game by not playing the game. I said that, like, the example of when me, Tommy, and Kevin were talking, you clearly see how bad I am at lying. So I was just avoiding conversations because I can't. I'm
smart. I mean, Tommy said, you don't ever want to be the star or the GOAT. You want to just kind of be in the middle.
Right.
Feitelberg has taken that like to the extreme. He is hidden.
But it's not like Feitelberg was having like backdoor meetings at the cameras or like.
No, there's none of that.
I mean, even to the cameras. Like again, it's been revealed now that me, you, and Che had a little thing, and like I never told them that.
It took a little while.
You guys were like, don't tell anybody. So I was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Yeah.
Some would say we are making a show.
I know, but you know what? Like now that I've done something like that, if I do it again from the jump, I will be way more honest. The very beginning, I was like, I'm not talking. I ain't no snitch. Like I
remember how it went from other shows here. Like the producers are all talking, everyone's talking. I'm not telling anybody nothing.
Right. And at that, especially at that point, it was like, we're not gonna ruin this. Like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Like none of that. But also once you get going, like. No, now that I've obviously made it like decently far, like in the beginning I was like, I don't want to be the guy in the confessionals like saying all these things I'm going to do, and then like day one I get the boot and they make me look like an asshole.
Right.
So in the beginning I was very much like question, answer. And then when all of a sudden, I've made it through however many episodes, I'm like, okay, now we can talk a little bit, But I mean, Factor should be paying Feitelberg double because my man is
delicious,
crushing at that. So the Rough and Rowdy thing, I feel like, are you going to continue your relationship with Wallow and Gilly now?
Yeah, I think probably not. I was.
Are you going to get the call? Imagine if Large is the next guest on $1 Million Worth of Game.
$1 million and
Third
more.
Michael McCarthy.
No, but
How much game do you think you could quantify? How much game do you think you have?
How much?
$100,000 for the game?
Yeah, if they're $500,000 a piece, I'd like to think that I bring $250,000.
$250,000 for the game.
Yeah, so $1.25 million worth of game. I don't know if they wanted to talk about the fights or anything, like to have a follow-up show to it. I'd be glad to do it. I think there was a thing where we were going to do a preview together, and then the schedules didn't work out.
Yeah. Those guys are awesome, man. They
and the guys who work for them. The production guys behind the scenes are also very fucking easy to work for too.
Out of everybody who's ever joined Barstool and done really well, they have done the best job of like ingratiating themselves to Barstool, and I'm sure some of it is an act, not an act, but it's just like, I don't really know you, but I'm going to be polite to you. And it's like basic manners. And then to the guys like, the guys who have been around for a long time, they always make sure to come over and like say hello and be like, they're gassing me. I mean, they have one of the biggest shows in the world, and they're always like, we're just trying to get like you, man. We're just trying to be like you.
This was,
absolutely.
See Wallow go, oh, come on.
And look at Gilly just hyping him up.
And Gilly is the biggest instigator.
The greatest hype man of all time.
He really really is.
They really are. I mean, they like you said, like the self-help stuff is funny. It's like they're trying to put you onto $1 million worth of game. They give you all the advice that you need. They are two of the biggest X factors that they on Barstool surviving situation.
Oh
would
yeah.
be
That's the whole thing. I
wild.
don't think they should be in the general population because I don't know if they would get it. They're not Barstool people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't put up with a lot of the antics. Like, I don't know how you guys would react to me putting on a CPAP at night. So I could see that. And you see a lot of comments online about Dave not being there or not promoting it, or why not? And I don't think that, like that Venn diagram, there is no intersection of Dave fans and $1 million worth of game fans, or enough for Dave to do a lot of promotion for it. So they put this one on their back. I don't know how they would do it differently next time, but that's a pretty fucking ballsy move too. Like to say that, hey, I'll do it. I'll bring in the fighters. I'll do all that.
For sure.
It did make Devlin's job any easier. Devlin was still running around like a one-arm paper hanger, like he always does. He needs more credit. But I thought it was.
Devlin might have to get in the ring with the way he's looking these days. Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah, big, thick, meaty cock on him. Went to Patty's OnlyFans.
I just watched him 6 attempts at trying to get into my OnlyFans. While you were here, that's why I was laughing. I'm going back to my desk. You're gonna have a refund for on your phone in about 30 seconds.
The wine's enough.
I was like, geez. I go, don't do it. And he goes, okay. He puts it down, and then he picks up the paper and looks at the password again. Oh, the motorcycle in this photo is here.
Get the motorcycles in the photo.
I'm sweating that Large is going to pull up a photo. Very beautiful photo. Very beautiful photo.
Is there some nude shit in there?
No, there's no nudes. Those are
Just the trunk, dude. Just the trunk.
Just the
I
trunk.
was talking to your mom this weekend.
Oh, yeah, you were. Thank God you didn't mention it to her. Well, she takes the photos.
Does your mom know that you have OnlyFans?
Yeah, she's a photographer. My dad holds a light. Sorry.
I had Joey for Secret Santa, and I got him. I hope he does it. You guys should maybe do it together and go film it. I got him I think it's like a 3-day trip to man camp. It is.
Is that so? Is it just like a gay orgy?
No, it read that way, which is very funny because it's the opposite. It's like come learn how to be an alpha male, and they were like, it's gonna be long and hard and wide.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna get stretched.
It's stretched out. It's gonna be long and hard, and you're gonna get stretched out. I was like, this might be like code talk, and this is just one big gay orgy. But it's like some guy who's like, the pictures of them like hunting and like building shelter and all this shit. And I feel like Joey in that scenario would be unbelievable. If there was a bunch of like unaware dudes who were there to just be like, I'm gonna learn to be an alpha, and Joey's like, I'm here, lady. I hope
Who's fucking me tonight?
Right. His dream come true. It's like when Joey first came into Barstool, the very first day, he ran in here with Snooki and was just like, I'll suck your dick, I'll suck your dick, I'll fuck you. I was like, what is this guy?
I did the twisted history of gynecology, and during the thing, I had brought out a speculum, which is that silver double shoehorn that you open up.
We've watched Adriana, we know.
So I had brought one in, and I had it on during the show, and then I brought it back to my desk. It was Joey's first day, and he was sitting next to me. He replaced Willie. I used to sit next to him, and they were like, let's get a very similar soul. So everybody else, when you show it, all the girls like, oh, because they think about how cold it is, and all the guys like, ah. And then Joey goes, men's medium?
That's Joey for you. Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Tonight, 8 o'clock, episode 7.
Yep.
Of Surviving Barstool. This is it. Final week. We're in the home stretch. We're in the end game now. So we're getting down to the final, 6, 5, 4.
7 of us left.
7, 6, 5. So we'll see how it all unfolds. Barstool.tv. You can binge it all to catch up. 6 episodes of just absolute mayhem, chaos, and great competition. And then tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night with the finale after the episode airs. So Barstool.tv, $9.99. I think we're up over like 130,000 subscriptions now. Just absolutely unbelievable. The response has been crazy. So check it out tonight, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at noon on Barstool Radio.